Peace and blessings, people. They're not going to like this one, but we got to continue to serve that wisdom. All right. So when I told you that the term India and Indian, well, Indian is connected to India, I'm going to show you how it was some East India Indians in Virginia in the 1600s. Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with this Indian tribe. It was connected to the Powhatan Paramount Chiefdom. We'll look all that up. Okay. Like I said, I like using Wikipedia, get straight to the point. You know what I mean? And there's researchable terms within the write-ups. All right, so let's go into the Nansemond. Okay, so were the Black Indians here with no connection to Africa? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no factually. Okay, if you got Afro Sun hair, okay, the descendancy goes all the way back to Africa. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Now, the eye should be put on the East India Company. Okay. Because they was in India for a minute, right? And if you know about them East Indians, they were servants in the UK for a long time, and they were brought over here into America. Okay. Now, it may be hard to recognize the mixture, but when you look at the mixture, think of Kamala Harris. Okay. She's Black and East Indian. You dig what I'm saying? But can pass for quote unquote Black. You understand what I'm saying? These East Indians were passing as Black as well. Okay. And when I say pass for Black, I'm saying passing in the original stock of those of African descendancy in America. Now, you may have Native American or American Indian blood within you, but you are not American Indian first and then African. You dig what I'm saying? So let's go in today. Let's go in and check out this Nansemond tribe, and you'll be interested to see the bloodline within this federally recognized tribe. So I say to the Black Indians of today, are you federally recognized, or are you just outside claiming to be Indian, and that's your right to do so? You understand what I'm saying? So let's go in. All right, it tells you the Nansemond are the indigenous people of the Nansemond River. Okay, James River in Virginia. You can look that up. All right, it says the Nansemond name is meaning fish point in the Algonquin. Okay, they harvested oysters, hunted and farmed in fertile soil. Today, Nansemond people belong to the federally recognized Nansemond Indian Nation. So when you see this Indian, how do you know if you speaking about an East Indian, a West Indian, or a quote unquote Black Indian in America? All right, let's go down. Okay, related ethnic groups: Nottoway, Chawanoke, Chesapeake, Pamunkey, Mattapony, Chickahominy, Meherrin, Haliwa, Saponi. Okay. Gradually pushed off their lands in the colonial and following periods, the Nansemond struggled to maintain their culture. They reorganized in the late 20th century and gained state recognition from Virginia in 1985. They gained federal recognition in 2018 after Congress passed a bill. Many members of the tribe still live on former ancestral lands in Suffolk, Chesapeake, and surrounding areas. Okay. So let's go into the language. All right. They say they speak a Algonquin language. Let's go into a little bit of history, and this is where it's interesting. Okay. So it says the Nansemond people were members of the Powhatan Paramount Chiefdom. Let's look that up right quick. Okay. to Senecomaca. Okay. These are the various breakdowns. In English, densely inhabited land, okay, is the name given by the Powhatan people to their native homeland. The area encompassing all of Tidewater, Virginia, and parts of the Eastern Shore. Okay. Powhatan Confederacy, right? Gives you the capital, I'm sorry. Powhatan, late 1500s to 1609. Orapakis or Orapakes, 1609, 1614. Okay. And Matthew, 1614. All right. So the Powhatan is being labeled as being an organized tribe in the late 1500s. The late 1500s. And that's not ancient. All right, let me go into the capital right quick. Okay, so Jamestown, 1607, was founded on their land. We know that, okay? Here's a little picture. Now they got other pictures of this chief right here, the Powhatan chief. Looks black, but how we know he not East Indian? You know what I'm saying? But anyway. All right, that's a little breakdown on that. That's not what I want you to pay attention to, okay? John Smith's map, okay? History. The Powhatan were part of a powerful chiefdom of Virginia Indian tribes, also known as the Powhatan Confederacy, that spoke an Algonquin language. By 1607, Wahoo Seneca controlled more than 30 tribes. The original 6 tribes under Wahoo Seneca, okay, were the Powhatan, the Arrowhatak, Appomattox, the Pamunkey, the Mattaponi, the Chiskiak, and here's the other affiliate tribes. And it's also mentioning the Nansemond, okay? It's also mentioning the Nansemond, a part of the Powhatan Confederacy, okay? So they had to be recognized in the 1500s, late 1500s, okay? Okay, Wahunsin Nakawa died in 1618, after which the chiefdom was ultimately passed to his younger brother, who led the Indian massacre of 1622, as well as second attack in 1644. All right, so that's the Powhatan Paramount Chiefdom, the little bit of information right there. Okay, so which consisted of about 30 tribes, estimated to have numbered more than 20,000 people in the coastal area of what became Virginia. They paid fealty to a paramount chief known as the Powhatan. They lived along the Nansemond River. Okay. In 1607, John Smith arrived on the shores, establishing Jamestown. Okay, so let's go down here. All right, so these, they say all the Nansemond descend from this marriage right here. Marriage of John Bass and Elizabeth. Now, let me see if this is... I don't think that woman right there is Elizabeth, but... Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so, but the Nansemond, this is the Nansemond Indian tribe. This is the start. right? Members of the Nansemond tribe, mostly members of the Weaver and Bass families. This is 1900. Okay. So it says John Bass, a colonist in early 17th century Virginia, married Elizabeth, the daughter of the leader of the Nansemond Nation, after she was baptized into the established Anglican Church of the colony. Okay. They had 8 children. Although Christianized, Elizabeth likely raised their children in Nansemond culture. The tribe was matrilineal. Okay. Then here's where it gets groovy, right? Some Nansemond claim descent from this marriage. Based on her research, Dr. Helen Roundtree says that all current Nansemond descend from this marriage. Now remember, they're federally recognized. Now check this out. William H. Weaver is sitting. Okay. Augustus Bass is standing behind him. Okay. The Weaver family were indentured East Indians from modern day India and Pakistan, who were free in Lancaster County by about 1710. By 1732, they were taxables, note, free blacks, generally free people of color, and Indians, Native Americans, had to pay a tax, okay, in Norfolk County, and taxable mulatto landowners in nearby Hartford County, North Carolina. By 1820, there were 164 free colored members of the family in Hartford County. In 1830, some registered as Nansemond Indians in Norfolk County Smithsonian Institution, Nansemond Indians. Okay. It tells you that the Weaver family were indentured East Indians. Okay. Indian people. And you see how it goes to India. Right? Okay. While the demonym Indian applies to people originating from the present-day Republic of India, it was also used as the identifying term for people originating from what is now Pakistan and Bangladesh prior to the partition of India in 1947. Okay? Particularly in North America, the terms Asian Indian and East Indian are sometimes used to differentiate Indians from the indigenous peoples of the Americas. But it said the Nansemond tribe, right? They're indigenous people. And these people are from India and Pakistan. Mulatto, we know what mulatto means, right? Is a racial classification to refer to people of mixed African and European ancestry. Okay? We want to see if it got, you mentioned Native American in there. Its use is considered outdated and offensive in several languages, including English and Dutch, whereas in languages such as Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese, it is not and can even be a source of pride. Okay? That's interesting. Okay? That's interesting, right? Is there any more information about East Indians being in America? Okay? Now look, let somebody else tell it. They'll show a picture of this brother right here and be like, he's a black, he's a Negro, okay? But as stated, this man was more than likely a Pakistani, right? Or an Indian from India. This is a federal recognized Indian tribe. They say they descend from these people. Okay? Slave ad from Richmond County. Okay? Runaway about the 20th of May last, an East India Indian. Okay? They were also called Negroes. Okay? They were also called Blackamoors. Right? This is a write-up by this female right here. Okay? It says here, Brenda Chari came to the United States from India as a graduate student in 1999 and has been living here since. She is a novelist turned academic return novelist. The East Indian, published May 2nd and based on Chari's archival discoveries about the South Asian people in the British American colonies, is her first novel published in the United States. Okay. She gives a little breakdown on how her people, the Indians, were here. Okay. But it goes down. Okay. Some records also indicate that Indians were enslaved to English masters in their voyages across the Indian Ocean. Okay. But I want to show you the little breakdown. Numerous, right? Numerous East Indians subsequent to Tony are mentioned in deeds, estate accounts, runaway ads, and court documents. They have been enumerated and listed by Paul Heening in his Free African Americans in North Carolina, Virginia, and South Carolina, and the information further compiled by Francis C. Assisi. Okay. South Asians in the colonial America. Both English and American records indicate that the terms East India Indians, Asiatic Indians, Black Moors, East India Moors, and East Indian Negroes were used to describe this population. Okay. Sam Locker, a runaway, is described as a Negro man, has rather long hair, being of the East India breed, while another runaway, John Newton, is described as an Asiatic Indian in one edition of the Virginia Gazette, but as a mulatto in another. While as late as 1794, 16-year-old Crispin, a runaway from Philadelphia, is described as a kind of mulatto East India boy. Okay. So I don't understand why y'all want to be recognized as Indian. You say an Indian is on the government documents and things of that nature. But how can you differentiate between the East Indian, okay? When the West Indians, this is all description, right? This is all description. So how can you deny your African ancestry? You want to be classified as an American Indian, but when that's an American Indian, it's mixtures. It's mixtures today. Early East Indians soon blended with the African population. Okay. They blended with the African population. So I guess the original Indian, Black Indians were called Africans. They should be able to differentiate. Because East is the old world. Early East Indians soon blended with the African population, so providing among the first examples of alliances between people of color. They created multi-ethnic families and consequently further confounded the already complicated and shifting idea of race. Okay. Will, a man who ran away from Mr. Hepburn's plantation in 1760 in Frederick County, Maryland, is described as being of a yellow complexion, being of a mixed breed between an East Indian and a Negro. Okay? Tony's story and that of other early East Indians is a significant preface to the narrative of South Asian immigration to the USA, although after their merger with the African American population, they no longer retained their East Indian identity. And you know, the East Indians are some of the greatest haters of Black people in the East and the West. Okay. They over here running it up, getting the money. And they are even a federally recognized Indian tribe in America. And y'all worrying about Pan-Africanism? Y'all worried about Pan-Africanism? Now, this is a little information to think about right here. The British Raj also had a huge slave trade with millions of Hindus. You mean Dan Calloway was talking about the Indians that were shipped, right? Sent as slaves to their colonies. Even after abolition of slavery in Britain, slavery continued in India. In 1830, at least 1.1 million Indian, majority Hindus, were slaves. Okay. The British Raj actively took slaves from India to their colonies. 1830, 1.21 million Indians, mostly Hindus, were held as slaves. You see that? Now, when you see pictures like this, they might be like, hey, man, that's a Black person in the black. That's a Moor. But it could be an East Indian. Okay? It's obviously they was over messing with them first. Because they couldn't go into the interior of Africa. They was in India since Alexander the Great's time. You feel me? Nelson Island and Indian indentureship in Trinidad, right? And then from the West Indies, they was shipping them here into the Americas. Whole write up right here. Nelson Island. Got logs and everything. If you're interested, okay, name. You can't really see what they're calling them. This Nelson Island in Trinidad. Alsa was among the 228 ships that brought Indian immigrants to Nelson Island from 1866 to 1917. You see? And then what? They mixed into the Black population. Right? So anybody that would see them will be like, these Negroes. Some examples of Indian slaves, right, in America. 1768. East India Indian named Thomas. The Virginia Gazette. Okay. 1776 is an Asiatic Indian by birth. 10 years in England. He wears long black hair, which inclines to curl, tied behind and pinned up. Okay, which inclines to curl. East Indian slave. So I think they confused, man. Got history mixed up. This is a Hindu woman. If you mix this woman with a black person of African descent in America, what you gonna get is that copper color skin as well. You dig what I'm saying? See, the thing is hair, sun hair come from Africa in the sun zone. Kamala Harris is the 49th Vice President of the United States. Okay. Clearly, in a sense, passing. Okay. For a black woman, place of origin, East Bay, California, U.S., and then you got Tamil Nadu, India. Okay. Jamaica. Harris's maternal ancestry comes from Tamil Nadu, India, and her father is from St. Anne, Jamaica. That's the spot right there. Shyamala Copeland was the mother of Kamala Harris. Okay. Biologist and civil rights activist from Chennai, India, born in 1938. To P. Copeland and his wife Rajam. Copeland's family belongs to the Brahmin caste. Okay. Is a Varna as well as a caste within Hindu society. Brahmins were designated as the priestly class, serving as priests and spiritual teachers. Okay. Do we have a better picture? Let's see if we can get a better picture of Kamala Harris. I believe that's her family right there, and then maybe Kamala Harris on the left. Let's just do this. Boom. Now, she can be like, I'm Native American only. I'm black only. I'm African only. You feel what I'm saying? The strongest stock as far as the humans is concerned is the African stock, and all the rest of the sub-degrees of stock came after. But I just wanted to do this video just to show y'all the East Indians in America, federally recognized Native American tribe. You understand? And that the term Indian, or calling yourself Indian, derives from India. You dig? So I would say, man, be proud of who you are, man. Be proud of your African stock. It's the strongest stock. And man, we don't need no more self-haters out here. You know, but when it comes down to facts, instead of showing them pictures, because you can be confused with them pictures, let's see some real information about origin in America. Peace.